Hi, welcome to Changdam's video tutorial. My name is Brenton Swan and we'll be talking about Korea's ESL culture as well as looking into the typical life of a Korean student. Meet Sally. Sally is a middle school student. Let's quickly compare her life as a student in South Korea to that of the United States. Sally wakes up at 7 a.m, school starts approximately 8 a.m. and ends around 2 p.m. Most middle school students take 6 lessons a day, and in addition to this, usually have an early morning block that precedes regular lessons, and a 7th lesson specializing in an extra subject to finish the day. Unlike with high school, middle school curricula do not vary much from school to school. Maths, English, Korean, social studies and science form the core subjects, with students also receiving instruction in music, art, PE, history, Hanja, ethics, home economics, technology or computer studies. Students attend school from Monday to Friday and have half a day every 1st, 3rd and 5th Saturday of the month. Saturday lessons usually include club activity lessons, where students may participate in extracurricular activities. Although the specific subjects, teaching style and methodology may be somewhat different, there are many similarities in the public education system between Korea and the United States. The bigger differences lie in what happens after school. If Sally were a student in the United States, she would typically spend on average 3.5 hours watching television, 5.5 hours on extra activities such as sport, video games or social activities, around 1 hour on homework. Finally, she would average 8 hours of sleep daily from Monday to Friday. In contrast, if Sally were a student in Korea, she would attend additional private educational institutions called hagwons after school until late at night. She would not have much time to watch television or do extra activities. In addition, she would need to study on average 4 hours to complete her hagwon and school homework before sleeping. On average, Sally sleeps around 6 hours per night, and it's not surprising to see elementary middle school students like her drink coffee in class simply to stay alert. Due to the extended public school system, she goes through this cycle not 5 but 6 days a week. During the weekends, Sally attends additional hagwons or catches up with her studies. Note that Sally is not an exception. This is the norm. Why do Korean students study so much? First, understand that East Asian Confucian culture emphasizes the importance of family. As a result, parents will eventually be taken care of by their children, more than relying on the government welfare as in other Western countries. Without their children securing a successful career, which would ultimately result from a successful education, they may end up struggling in their retirement life. As a result, to increase their chances of securing a good job, many students desire Ivy League universities in America, or at least one of the top 3 Korean universities. Preparing to get to the best universities has become something of a national obsession in Korea. For example, 3rd-year high school students prepare and greatly anticipate or fear the Suneung exam, which occurs every November. This exam is the equivalent of the North American SATs, only much worse. This gauntlet of an entrance exam lasts 9 hours. 3rd-year students are shredding through cram sessions, review books, notes, and any form of caffeinated beverage. Moreover, this exam will not only determine where you attend university, it will also most likely dictate your career and your job for the next 30 years. 30 years of your life based on one exam when you were 18 years old. It goes without saying the Suneung exam is a big deal. To emphasize further, aeroplane schedules are altered during the listening portion of the exam. Subway schedules and employee schedules are changed so that students arrive at the test site on time. Hundreds of mothers congregate outside examination halls to pray. Younger students form lines outside examination buildings to cheer on their seniors, much like a prep rally before a US sporting event. Gaining entrance to a top university may be considered the ultimate goal for a Korean student. However, the same competitive environment occurs in gaining acceptance to top-level high schools, middle schools, elementary schools, even a number of international kindergartens. There are a number of elite private colleges or schools that by simply being enrolled, students can increase their chances of getting into a top university later on. Unlike many private Western schools, money is not the only factor in being accepted. Most parents are more than willing to invest a lot of money for the educational advantage of going to an elite school. Students can spend up to a month going through a rigorous interview process involving written and oral examinations, as well as national competitions. One example would be the Changshim Middle School. Each year, more than 9,000 students apply, with only 105 students being accepted. That's a little over 1% chance of getting in. Another factor, a student's social status represents the family, not just themselves. A low social status could bring shame to the student's family. Finally, the population of South Korea is nearly 50 million people, but of course there are not 50 million available jobs. Competition is very heated and fierce. Knowing more about the life of a Korean student helps us better to prepare in two ways. First, due to the highly competitive nature of education in Korea, the importance of the day's lesson should be of high priority. During the 3 hours, students and parents expect high-quality education that can give them a competitive advantage over other students to succeed in getting into an elite school. At Changdam, we provide the product to prepare students for university. As a Changdam instructor, you have the responsibility to deliver that product with not only style and substance, but with passion. The more passionate you are about teaching, the better prepared you are for classes. The students are more involved because they feel like they are learning more. Passionate teachers are never completely satisfied with their performance. They are always looking for ways to improve and enhance their class quality. You hold the position to make a direct impact on the future of your student's career. It goes far beyond the 3 hours spent in class. Second, understanding the daily life of our students, we should develop a stronger sense of compassion. This is not to say we should allow students to sleep in class. Having a better understanding of why they may be tired helps us as counsellors. Instead of punishing and yelling, think about motivating and encouraging. Do not be quick to pass judgment. Talk with your students. Understand what's going on in their lives outside the classroom. This concludes the video tutorial for the life of a Korean student, as well as a little about the Korean ESL culture.